federal government may be poised to reclassify cannabis, marijuana, the chiba, the green sticky icky, whatever other kinds of nicknames you got for it. The ganja? I don't know. Maybe you could sound off and let me know what nicknames you've got for cannabis. But the headline here is the Health and Human Services Secretary is asking the DEA to modify its policy on cannabis and to reschedule it. HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra said Wednesday on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, that the agency has responded to President Joe Biden's request to provide a scheduling recommendation for marijuana to the DEA. We've worked to ensure that a scientific evaluation be completed and shared expeditiously. So you've got Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader there in the majority, said in a statement to the HHS and recommended that marijuana be moved from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 controlled substances. And rescheduling the drug would reduce the potential of eliminating criminal penalties for possession, because right now, marijuana is currently classified as Schedule 1 alongside heroin and LSD. Think about that. So what's interesting here is Illinois has had legal cannabis for medicinal purposes for, like a decade almost. How long has that been? We just, in the past 3 years, have had cannabis legal for recreational use. It was January of 2020. I remember New Year's Day as a reporter watching all of the lines of people head to the first cannabis dispensary in Springfield, and we talked to the first guy who came out with his cannabis, and I forget what he had, but he had a big smile on his face. But Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked yesterday by my reporter Andrew Hensel up in Madison, where he talked about the cost of cannabis, because studies have shown Illinois, even though we have legal cannabis now, we tax the snot out of it. And it's a tax that ranges from like 25% up to 45%, depending on if the local government tax on a 3% tax on it. So it's a high tax thing if you want to use it recreationally. I don't think there's a tax if it's for medicinal purposes, but that drives the cost up. Where we have other states that have legalized it, the cost is much lower than in Illinois. Plus, Illinois doesn't have as much competition. I think one study showed that we only have about 400 brands of cannabis in Illinois, where other states have 800 different brands of cannabis. So we'll hear what the governor had to say about that question of are Illinois cannabis prices ever going to come down? We'll hear that in a moment, but of course I want to get your phone calls as they come in, anytime they come in, at 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Yes, hello, Greg.
What's up, man?
Sean Gotti here.
Good to hear from you.
Hey, man, yes, for sure. How about that Maui Wowie, man, or some Mary Jane? Yeah.
But is that a brand? Is that like a strand, or is that just a generic?
I know Cheech and Chong called it Maui Wowie. That's about all I know, man. Or what was it? What was it? Doberman? Yeah, some Doberman.
Oh yeah, that's right. What kind is this? It's Doberman, man. What?
Doberman, man.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I followed my dog around the yard for a week, man.
Ridiculous. What a stupid movie that was. Appreciate the call, Sean. Good to hear from you. All right, let's hear what Governor J.B. Pritzker had to say about Illinois cannabis prices, and are they ever going to come down? Are we ever going to see the price reduced? Here's the governor reacting to that question yesterday up in the Madison area.
We still have a growing industry, as you know, and it's one that I initiated in 2019 that's brought in almost $450 million to state and local governments. So we want to encourage all industries to grow, of course. I think that as we see other states, if they do make changes, by the way, there's only one state around us that has legalized cannabis, and that's Missouri. But we are getting almost a third, or roughly 30% of the revenue that we get from the cannabis industry comes from people coming to Illinois and spending money at dispensaries. So we want the industry to grow. We're always going to look to see how we can adjust to make sure that it is growing. But I have to say, it's been successful so far. And I want to point this out, we have seen equity in this industry like no other state. We intentionally created the program to do that. hasn't fully flourished the way that we would have liked it to by now, but so much better than every other state. You cannot point to another state that has the number of people who have been come from disproportionately impacted areas, people who are black and brown, who are owners of these dispensaries. I mean, you can't find another state that's done a better job on that, and the number of people working in the industry. There's more to do, though. Like in everything, I think we can make progress, and we continue to work on that.
Thanks, everybody. That's all the time we have.
So Governor J.B. Pritzker saying that, hey, we have an equitable system, but it's not really free market at what you would consider a free market system. Again, looking at the brands and the costs, it's quite disparate from other areas of the country that have legalized cannabis for recreational purposes. So fascinating as Health and Human Services looks to reschedule cannabis. Who knows if the DEA will actually make that happen? We'll update you on that as it happens, if it happens.